Bermuda Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle, also known as the Devil's Triangle, is a loosely defined region in the western part of the North Atlantic Ocean, where a number of aircraft and ships are said to have disappeared under mysterious circumstances. According to the U.S. Navy, the triangle doesn't exist, and the name is not according to the U.S. Navy. The triangle doesn't exist, and the name is not recognized by the U.S. Board on Geographic Names. Popular culture has attributed various disappearances to the paranormal or activity by extraterrestrial beings. Documented evidence indicates that a significant percentage of the incidents were spurious, inaccurately reported, or embellished by later authors. In a 2013 study, the Worldwide Fund for Nature identified the world's 10 most dangerous waters for shipping, but the Bermuda Triangle wasn't among them. The first written boundaries that from an article by Vincent Gaddis in a 1964 issue of the Pulse magazine Argosy, where the triangle's three vertices are in Miami, Florida Peninsula, in San Juan, Puerto Rico, and in the mid-Atlantic island of Bermuda. But subsequent writers didn't follow this definition. Some writers give different boundaries and vertices to the triangle, with the total area varying from 1,003,000 to 3,009,000 kilometers squared. Consequently, the determination of which accidents have occurred inside the triangle depends on which writer reports them. The United States Board on Geographic Names doesn't recognize this name, and it isn't listed in any map drawn by U.S. government agencies. The area is one of the most heavily traveled shipping lanes in the world, with ships crossing through it daily for ports in the Americas, Europe, and the Caribbean islands. Cruise ships are also plentiful, and pleasure craft regularly go back and forth between Florida and the islands. It is also a heavily flown route for commercial and private aircraft heading towards Florida, the Caribbean, and South America from points north. The earliest allegation of unusual disappearances in the Bermuda area appeared in a September 17, 1950, article published in the Miami Herald by Edward Van Winkle Jones. 2 years later, Fate magazine published "Sea Mystery at Our Back Door," a short article by George X. Sand covering the loss of several planes and ships, including the loss of Flight 19, a group of 5 U.S. Navy TPM Avenger bombers on a training mission. Sand's article was the first to along was be covered again in the April 1962 issue of American Legion magazine. In it, author Alan Eckert wrote that the flight leader had been heard saying, "We aren't tiding white water, nothing seems right. We don't know where we are, the water is green, not white." He also wrote that officials at the Navy Board of Inquiry stated that the planes flew off to Mars. Sand's article was the first to suggest a supernatural element to the Flight 19 incident. In the February 1964 issue of Argosy, Vincent Gaddis' article, "The Deadly Bermuda Triangle," argued that Flight 19 and other disappearances were part of a pattern of strange events in the region. The next year, Gaddis expanded this article into a book, invisible horizons. Others will follow with their own works elaborating on Gaddy's ideas. John Wallace Spencer, Charles Berlitz, Richard Wiener, and many others are keeping to some of the same supernatural elements outlined by Eckert. Lawrence David Koch, a research librarian from Arizona State University and author of the Bermuda Triangle Mystery, solves argued that many claims of Gaddis and subsequent writers were often exaggerated, dubious, or unverifiable. Koch's research revealed a number of inaccuracies and inconsistencies between Berlitz accounts and statements from eyewitnesses, participants, and others involved in the initial incidents. Koch noted cases where pertinent information went unreported, such as the disappearance of round-the-world yacht man Donald Crowhurst, which Berlitz had presented as a mystery, despite clear evidence to the contrary. Another example was the ore carrier recounted by Berlitz as lost with hope traced 3 days out of an Atlantic port when it had been lost 3 days out of a port with the same name in the Pacific Ocean. Koch also argued that a large percentage of the incidents that sparked allegation of the Triangle's mysterious influence actually occurred while outside it. Often his research was simple. He would review period newspapers of the dates of reported incidents and find reports on possibly relevant events like unusual weather that were never mentioned in the disappearance stories. Koch concluded that, number 1, the number of ships and aircraft reported missing in the area wasn't significantly greater, proportionally speaking, than in any other part of the ocean. Number 2, in an area frequented by tropical storms, the number of disappearances that did occur were, for the most part, neither disproportionate, unlikely, nor mysterious. Number 3, furthermore, Berlitz and other writers would often try to mention such storms or even represent the disappearance as having happened in calm conditions when meteorological records clearly contradict this. Number 4, the numbers themselves had been exaggerated by sloppy research. A boat disappearance, for example, will be reported, but its eventual isolated return to port may not have been. Number 5. Some disappearance had in fact never happened. One plane crash was said to have taken place in 1937 off Daytona Beach, Florida. In front of hundreds of witnesses, a check of the local papers revealed nothing.